Let's talk about Zenoria Blaze, the blue skin of Zona, and the Adolf Hitler. To her people, the Zonian race. Let's pick the top worst things. Zenoria Blaze is done number 1, tricking her people with false pretenses. She wanted to be the president of Zona by working with a company that builds AI artificial intelligent robots. She gave a speech saying what I'm building is the future of Zona, so people don't have to sacrifice themselves for our country, so people don't have to risk their lives of fighting an endless war against our enemies. Tragedy could happen at any time, and we need to be prepared and not having to sacrifice our own people for a meaningless war that will be pointless in the end of the day. Zonian lives matter, but robots do not. There's no sacrifice loss of a robot if it's destroyed. We can just rebuild it. We don't have to find loyalty in the military. We can just program loyalty. And we could just program them to be the best fighter and shooter and defender of this country, not working endless hours of training. Individual to be the best with robots. It's just a simple type in, that's it. And this seems to get her the vote, and she won the election. But people not knowing she had a ulterior motive, leading us to number 2, ordering the Orania massacre, where she made a deal with the South African presidents to kill off a whites-only town in Africa. In return, she offers them food and resources, and the president agreed. She tested her robots on moving targets, a training exercise she called it when the citizens saw the robots. They were extremely confused what was going on, till the robots started firing, and they were running for their lives. They were gunning everything down with no hesitation. Everyone in that town was massacred. Only a tiny few escaped, and some of it was caught on camera. That was the worst attack on white people. In Zenoria's eyes, she saw the project as a success, leading to number 4, she says, and calls out the hypocrisy of a white people and what they did in their past, calling it racial karma, and everyone gets a bully. If you want to know what she said, you can check out my previous video. It's in there, you just got to find it. But back to story part 4, executing a news reporter. A white news reporter came to Zona and questioned her, comparing her actions of wanting to wipe out or play extinctionist on another race to Hitler. She responded with a death stare and ordered him executed by burying him, leaving his head out, and having a few pack of wolves tore into his face, mauling his face until it was nothing but a gory mess. And this was on national TV, or the public crowd watching, and some were cheering for this, and she just watched with a smile after seeing the man get brutalized like that. But that's not worst thing she did in number 5, starting World War. She ordered the atomic bombs to hit Mexico and China and outer space. She dropped the bomb and created a massive explosion, killing almost millions. But there were thousands on China and Mexico, starting a race war. She did have some allies, but she had enemies. And those enemies were America, China, the UK, Russia, and Pakistanians. She had a few allies I could not name on this list. But yeah, she had allies, and including millions of robots. It was a deadly war. And she found another whites-only town, used robots to start the mustard gas killing them. And there was some soldiers that picked out the survivors that were trying to flee, but she took some prisoners alive. And we're going to talk about part 6, capturing her enemies and playing games with them. They worked on the project called Death by Magnets, meaning that they used tiny little rubber magnets, cut them into tiny little pieces, have them touch each other to create a magnetic push-away, tied it up with tape, and put it on their enemies' ears. It creates magnet poisoning, which is a real thing. It doesn't affect the individual right away. It slowly kills them. Like radiation, it creates magnet poisoning, infecting the chest, affecting your ability to breathe when the months go on. But the worst part, it affects your brain. It takes away your ability to think, and pairing your thinking in a way that takes away your ability to function, to come up with words or anything to say or ideas. You just become like an old man trying to come up what to say or think until the magnets slowly take your life and affect the hearts. It drives a person crazy. It's a worse way to die. And Zenoria did this to her enemies, even recording it so she can watch all of it. Thousands of prisoners, Caucasian, Asian fell victim. The second part was playing Russian roulette or something close to it. And we all know what Russian roulette means, so I don't have to explain it. But look it up if you don't. But it's a different variant of it. She has multiple guns on the table, and one of those guns has a bullet, and all those guns are empty. It's a game. And she sits in front of them, giving her enemies eye contact, not showing any tell signs until the enemy pick up the gun, put it on their head, and hope it doesn't have a bullet. But even if they survive playing her game, they take them to the woods, covered them with blood, and play a game called cracker hunting. That person gets a head start and got a minute to run, while her men hunts that person down and kills them. If the soldiers doesn't kill them, the animals in the wolves will, because that man is covered in blood, and it will probably die by the enemy's hands or by the animal's hands. Now let's get to number 5, ordering traders to be gunned. While there was a protest, ordering her to be resigned or brought to justice, she ordered her men and her robots to gun them down. Thousands died, some got away. Number 6, Zenoria's blaze of glory explosion, where the combined allies were destroying factories that made the robots one by one, and her men slowly turning on her. All she can do was have her final stand. So she created a call to one of her subordinates, knowing that the conversation is being wiretapped, and lowered them to her and have one final stand. And they fought. Just when the enemies were closing in to take her alive, she had an atomic bomb in the building, shot at it, and he created a massive explosion that killed everyone that were in the area, the civilians, her enemies, all of them. No one survived, but they found a safe with an indestructible metal. And in the safe, she wrote, "Enjoy your temporary peace. Don't think you got rid of evil circle of life till the end of time. Or a species. Let's see how long the beehive stays on the tree." That's talking about the empires of all the nations. And she ends it with long live Zona.